Dear Sagittarius, the Sun's passage into the sign of Cancer represents, for you, the beginning of a phase entirely different from the previous month. After the Sun moved through the sign of Gemini, opposite your sign, highlighting relationships, partnerships, and direct dealings with others, it now moves into the sign of Cancer to activate the area of deep transformations, shared financial commitments, and psychological and inner changes. Over the coming 4 weeks, events will not be superficial or fleeting. On the contrary, life will push you to look more deeply at certain important matters you had perhaps been postponing dealing with. You might find yourself before decisions tied to partnerships, loans, investments, or shared responsibilities, or even before an operation of reassessing certain convictions and personal goals. This period carries an energy of transformation and maturity, more than an energy of expansion or quick momentum. You might therefore sometimes feel that you are working in depth more than in the foreground, and that certain matters need a radical putting in order before moving on to the next stage. On the side of the astrological angles, the square of the Sun with Neptune toward the end of June could create a certain vagueness in family or emotional affairs, and lead you to interpret certain situations according to your feelings, more than according to the actual facts. It is therefore better to be patient and not to make decisive decisions on the basis of impressions alone. With the arrival of the square of the Sun with Saturn at the start of July, a phase begins that requires more discipline in financial or emotional matters, and you might feel that certain responsibilities are growing, or that there are commitments needing wiser management. But in the end, this helps you build genuine stability. As for the conjunction of the Sun and retrograde Mercury, in mid-July, it could reopen old financial, legal, or family matters, or bring back to the forefront conversations and projects left unfinished. This period could be very favorable for correcting old mistakes or reorganizing certain commitments in a more effective way. In general, this stage invites you to transformation, maturity, and the rebuilding of certain important foundations of your life. On the emotional level, for the single person, during this period you tend to seek depth and sincerity in relationships, and you become less interested in fleeting or superficial relationships. You might be drawn to a person carrying a mysterious or emotionally deep side, who gives you the feeling that the relationship carries a true meaning. You might live an experience that revives old feelings, or leads you to reconsider an emotional story from the past. For the person in a relationship, the relationship moves toward a more serious level during this stage, and you might discuss with your partner matters tied to commitments, the future, or financial and emotional stability. Frankness and transparency will be the foundation of success during this transit. On the practical, financial, social, and professional levels, this period might not be filled with visibility or quick achievements, but it is excellent for reorganizing important matters and dealing with questions requiring study and long-term planning. Financially, this is the most active area during this transit, and you might be compelled to review financial commitments or to reorganize debts, investments, or shared resources. It matters to avoid poorly studied risks during the period of Neptune and retrograde Mercury's influence. Socially, you tend to narrow the social circle and to focus on deep, sincere relationships, and you might naturally move away from people who do not give you a sense of trust or comfort. As for health, during this period you need to take care of your psychological health as much as your physical health, for deep thinking and the preoccupation with certain important matters could drain part of your energy if you do not allow yourself sufficient periods of rest. Practicing light sport, meditation, or walking helps you keep your inner balance. A word of advice for you: not all changes are visible to the eye. Some of the most important transformations happen first within, then show their results later in reality. Do not be afraid to face truths or to reorganize what needs to be repaired, for every brave step you take now will give you greater strength and deeper stability in the coming stage.